Yes, yes, yes. Big up, people. Hope you are well. 12th man is back. Race for Europe is back. It's another Monday night to bring you all things football and all things race for Europe. We've got a couple of people that are missing tonight. Deji should be on his way. He said he was going to be a little bit late. So that's always good because earlier on, I saw LB rattling George completely. What is it with these Tottenham fans, man? What is it with these Spurs fans? I'll tell you that now. I'm going to bring that up with LB in a bit. Big up to LB. Big up to Errol. Big up to Charlie. We've got Deji on the way. Pete should be in and around tonight at some point. It's his daughter's birthday. Obviously, Wolfie's at the game. So we've got no Billy tonight because he's doing something over in Europe. Apparently, some Aston Villa team are doing something in midweek. So we got Rich on, mate. How you doing, Rich? You good, bruv?
I'm good. I'm good. Pleasure to be back. And yeah, we're winning a lot, mate. We're winning the lot.
Love it, man. Love it. Big up to Doobs in the chat, man. Definitely need to get you on here, my bro. Listen, I got to say, it's been a beautiful weekend for me because I had nothing to worry about. And do you know what? I had no football. I just sat with family, just chilled with my mates, and I thought, this is the life. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I rant and I rave when it's mid-season and pre-season. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I just want to get football back. But I've been tired, man. I've been tired. I've been exhausted about it all. And now it's quite nice to have a weekend off. I can't lie. So, look, football was back. FA Cup weekend was back. And those that are still in it, I think it could be a really good year, man. So I wanted to ask you to start what we think of this FA Cup this year, boys, because I want Man City out of it. I love you, LB, but I want Man City to be dumped out so we can actually get a FA Cup that isn't just laughed at as, oh, rolled your eyes back. There isn't a Liverpool that wins it, or even an Arsenal or a Man United or a Man City. That maybe, just maybe, an Aston Villa or a Brighton or a Bournemouth or a Forest.
Bro, you're only saying this because you're not left in the tournament.
Yeah. What's that?
You're only saying that because you're not in the tournament, mate.
Not at all. Not at all, mate. Not at all, mate. Well, let me start with you, bro, because obviously, real talk, if Man City win this and get top four, that's all right season, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's probably a decent season for most teams. You know what I mean? For us, given what's happened in the last few years, you might say, oh, well, it's probably slightly disappointing. But, you know, you have to look at the season as a whole. And for us, our season has been so bad, you know what I mean, that if we can get a trophy, and a decent trophy at that in the FA Cup, and finish in the top four, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of teams in the Premier League that would be one of their greatest ever seasons. So, yeah, I'm desperate to win it, man. I can't lie. I'm desperate to win that tournament. I want a trophy. A couple of our players might leave at the end of the year. Some of them are legends, and I want them going out the trophy, man. So, yeah, let's see what we can do, innit? You know what I mean? There's only really Villa who are like a big club in there, you know what I mean? But there are still some other teams in there. I know Forest have just kicked off. So we'll see, man. But yeah, if we can win that, finish in the top four, and then we go again next year. You know what I'm saying?
LB, I'm going to say this. I think you actually got quite a tough draw yesterday.
No, I agree.
I mean,
they battered us. Funny thing is, we should have actually nicked a draw in their game, but they actually battered us when we played them earlier in the season. They beat us 2-1. Like I say, we actually should have equalised at the end, but we didn't deserve it at all. But yeah, they played us off the park, man. So yeah, but listen, we're not the same team as we was back then. You know, we're not the same team. We're better than that. So we'll see, man. But yeah, listen, when you get to this stage of the tournament, mate, you can't really be looking at draws going, oh, fucking hell, I wish we could have had a bit. Look, you're in the quarter-final, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're in the quarter-final. Of course, you're going to play a decent side. So, yeah, chilling, man. I'm happy with it. See what happens. And, yeah, if we can win the tournament, win the FA Cup in a terrible year for us, then that's a W for me. 100%. Better than your season as well.
It will be if you win a trophy and we don't, bro. I can't even lie. Deji will be on soon, right? What? You and George earlier on Saeed's channel, man. I was watching it. Washing up, chilling out. I just got back and I'm like, right, let's get some biswash. Let's get the kitchen tidy. Let's put Saeed on, see what they're cooking. George was rattled, man. Like, what was going on there, bro?
Spurs fans always get right. Spurs fans are, I think, the easiest fan base in this country to rattle. Because they don't know what lane they're in, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? They don't know what
Charlie
lane
as well. Charlie gets this. It's where me and Charlie do kind of unite.
Yeah, they don't know what lane they're in, man. So like they're in this weird big club, but don't ever win anything. It's not like Arsenal, where like, Arsenal haven't won anything for a while, but like you've won Premier League, so you picked up FA Cups over the last 20 years. You know, you competed a lot in the Champions League. Like, you know what I'm saying? Spurs are just this weird club that, like, they just don't know really where they are they? You know what I mean? And I think, you know, especially Deji, man, when he comes on this show and says he'd rather finish in the top 4 than win a Carabao Cup or FA Cup, do you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? This is a team that's not won a trophy for what? Getting on for 20 years? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, listen, I was just a bit bored, innit? So I thought I need to rattle someone in. George is the easiest target, I'm afraid. To be honest, it's Arsenal or Spurs. I'm a bit bored rattling Arsenal fans, man. I do that every day. So I thought, yeah, let's go on Spurs here, man. So, yeah, it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. But, yeah, listen, if we do win a trophy this year and finish in the top 4, I think a lot of teams in this league need to take a long, hard look at themselves, mate. Yeah, because if we win a trophy, given how bad we've been this season, questions have to be asked, bro. I can't lie, man.
I agree. I can't even lie. One of my favourite people ever is King Hoddle, who, you know, I do love for his community, you know, and being part of 12th man, but he is a bit crazy at times. And this is a crazy statement because apparently Spurs are bigger than City.
Yeah, 100%. They're bigger than us. Yeah, they're bigger than us in every single way. Bigger stadium, bigger club, bigger history, bigger manager, bigger everything. Yeah, mint. Sound. Lift that at the end of the season. You know what I mean? Put that in your trophy cabinet. You know what I mean? No. Serious. No, big up to you, man. 100% agree. 100% agree that you're everything you just said then legit. Yeah. When people go to the Tottenham Hotspur trophy cabinet, that's what they see in it. We're bigger than Man City in the trophy cabinet. Now, 100%. I love it. Yeah, buzzing. Happy for you, man. Happy for everyone. Every single fan that says, "Oh, we're bigger than Man City." So happy for you guys. More than you can believe. I'm more than happy. So yeah. Big up to you, mate. I'm happy for you, innit? Like, bro, what is this?
I love it, LB. I love it.
Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, am I meant to get rattled by this? What are we doing here? Am I seriously meant to be getting rattled by someone saying Spurs are a bigger club than me? Like, who gives a shit? They're not, but even if they are, who cares? I don't care. You think I care about that? I don't care. I just think it's hilarious, bro. So yeah, man, I love it. Let them have it. Big up to Spurs fans, man. Yeah, bigger than Man City, innit? Put it in trophy cabinet, lads.
Oh, bro, I don't know why it's so funny, but it just is. Listen, I didn't actually want to talk about Spurs, but, you know, they did come up, as they always do. The fans are just, oh, my God, some of these Tottenham Hotspur fans I only know so well. And Charlie, to be fair, you'll know so well, because Chelsea and Spurs have this weird hatred for each other as well, which seems to be like a bigger rivalry than a North London derby at times. But Spurs fans, they just, I don't know. If I was a Spurs fan, I can quite honestly say I would just not talk, because what have they got to actually talk about? Like, I would just keep it stum and go, look, we know we're rubbish. We know we don't win anything. But they seem to want to be like, they're like that kind of your 15-year-old nephew who wants to go down the pub and drink with the boys at 18. That's what Spurs remind me of. They're like, oh, let me have some of that Guinness. Let me have some of that beer. I want some of that. No, you're not quite ready yet. Like, no, give me some of that. Give me some. Am I wrong here, Charlie? What is happening with these Tottenham fans, man?
Nah, mate, they are. I mean, some of them aren't that bad, to be fair, but others of them are just like, they just got this warped perception of what they actually are. Like, I don't know what it's like for you, but like the Chelsea Spurs rivalry is purely geographical. It's just location based. Like, it is like, real talk. They're not a threat to us. We can be so bad, but we can guarantee 6 points every single season, plus 6 on the board straight away. They never beat us. They never ever beat us, and they're just like, look, they're all right. They've got a great stadium, great training ground, or whatever, and they're the most profitable club in the Premier League. But on pitch and trophy wise and performance wise, they've got nothing. They've got absolutely nothing. And the way that some of them speak, it's like they've been winning trophies on a regular basis, year in, year out. They haven't got anything, any basis to be saying what they're saying on.
Facts. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. And it's a shame Deji ain't on, because we could have just carried this on a bit longer, to be fair. But I'm sure he'll be on very soon.
What do Spurs have going for him, lads?
This is what summed up Spurs, right? Last season, they could have finished in the top 4, right? Villa absolutely just limped over the line, but they would have rather lost Man City and handed Villa the top 4 than beat Man City, because it would have meant Arsenal having an opportunity to win the title. That sums them up. And if Villa win the FA Cup this year, I want a petition to say that Villa will take Spurs' places in the Big Six.
You've got my vote.
Yeah.
You've got my vote. Like,
What did this big six malarkey? Like Tobes hates it when we bring it up, right? And he used to hate it. He have a go at me. He has a go at Turkish all the time. This is a genuine question, man. How have they got into this? Is it's the rich six? That's what it is. It's not the big six.
It's the stadium. That's the only reason they're in it.
Yeah, it is. It actually is.
Do you need to have it stripped from them, bro? Because they bring no, bro.
Errol, do you want to do the official stripping of it now? You just
bro.
announced it.
Oh, bro, I would love to. And it's not even like I've got any real, animosity towards Spurs, because I don't. It's just that they bring shit. Like, if you've got a brand, when you there are brand partnerships, and you end up having the bad apple in a brand partnership, and it just sours the brand. Like, you've got something, and it's just off. Do you know what I mean? You can't quite put your finger on it, but as soon as those two things are it's like, nah, that can't run. That's what Spurs is. Spurs is making the big six a weaker brand in world football.
Errol, do you remember when they was invited to the Super League, bro?
Yeah.
This type of shit. It's like, how are you getting invited to the top table, the upper echelons of world football, with the likes of Manchester United, the Arsenals, the Manchester Cities in this world, and your lowly Spurs? What have you done for me lately? You've done nothing. You get more hype and more engagement around the artists that are going to perform at your ground in the off season than you do for some of the biggest games of your season. It's bonkers. I mean, it's like, again, you can rate them as a business, what they do off the pitch, that's fine. But when it comes to what football is about on the pitch, you've got nothing to put on the table to show that you are worthy to be in that conversation. I think Rich is right. Rich is 100% spot on. If Villa go and lift up silverware this season, my name will be in the top 3. I'll have Billy, Rich, and Errol, boom, locking off that petition to start it with, and I'll share the link with anybody else that wants to sign it as well, because I'm sick of them. I am genuinely sick of them just being shit. And it's frustrating from a non-Spurs fan that you get lumbered in with them in the conversations of a big six. It's a myth. It's absolute. It's the biggest bit of PR bit I've ever seen, and he's spun it for the best part of 10 years now, and we've been letting them get away with it.
To be fair, me and LB have been saying it for time, man. When we've done content together, they're the only team in the big six that don't win anything, right? And people will laugh at Chelsea for not winning something 4, and we're laughing 5. They haven't won anything in 5. But they're waiting now 16 years. As if the timing could not be any better. If the timing could not be any better. Deji, my bro.
Use this one. You say
what
the
shit
saying? Times and he turns up.
I'm good.
We're talking about how dusty Spurs are, and he just walks into the stream. I mean, it's
how can you talk about how dusty Spurs are?
Quite easily, to be honest. You'd be surprised how easy it is.
About what?
How easy it is to tell you how shit Spurs are.
Errol, you need to be. Errol, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You need to be extremely careful. And if you want me to, I can start bursting people's bubbles right now if you like. Can I?
Go for it. Go for it. Man. What you got? What you got?
I'll deal with it one by one then. Let me go, because I'm really quite pissed off. So I'll deal with each team one by one. So Errol, the truth of the matter is, this is it, bro. This is Salah's last season. This is his last hurrah. Let's be real. This is Salah's best season in a Liverpool shirt. After this, he's off to Saudi to get 250 mil a week. And then your star boy...
You already gets more than that. You already gets more than that in Liverpool. Just if we're gonna be honest,
he's not gonna get 250 mil a year. He's not.
200. I thought you said 250 mil, $250 a week.
Saudi money, yeah. He's getting real dollars, dollar bill, yo. That's what he's getting. And then your boy Trent, yeah, is off to Madrid. Once Salah leaves and Trent leaves, you're with me, mate. You're in the mud. You might as well sit next to me, bro. So I don't know. So you can.
I'm pretty sure everyone said the same thing when Klopp left. When Klopp goes, it's all over. The team are in transition. It's done. And all of a sudden,
but what about the future, bro? Is this it? So you're just gonna win this season and then you're done? That's it.
Done.
Yeah,
bro. Even if so like just to let me reply to that before you continue on your tirade to everybody else. Even if I did just win this season, I will have seen my team win more in just this period of time, last 5-10 years, than you will probably see for the rest of your life. So your grandkids might not even be able to talk to me about trophies and the actual trophy count come their lifespan. So I can shake my bum from here till next never, and I'll still look like Beyonce next to your flat back. So what are you saying?
I heard that, and you know, mate, you're on form tonight, and you've got jokes. The thing is, mate, once you've hit the ceiling, the only way is down, baby. It's you and me now. Whereas my club is on the upward trajectory, your club is at the top, bro. And so the only way is down. But so, bro, look, enjoy it. You deserve it. You are the best team in the country. Everyone's been rubbish. Let's also agree that everybody on this panel have been absolute disgraces. But you stepped up. In the season, you're the best out of a bad bunch, and we have to respect it. There is no way I can come on here and banter Errol, and well done to you. As for LB, he's an absolute disgrace of an individual, and a raid my way. Sending a shameless team, rubbish team. Plymouth got popped for my club. Do you get me? You got the 1-0 win, but on aggregate, bro, you got slapped 4-1. Hold that. Newcastle, I respect them. You know what I mean? Pete, for your sake, make sure you get top 4. Because if you don't get top 4, the cooking that is coming your way, it's going to be serious searing of a steak. Charlie, there's nothing to say to you, my bro. You're not involved. So, you know what I mean? Like, your club is one of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life. Rubbish team. Charlie's on here. He's silent now. He's listening. He's doing silent witness. You know, because we were always right, bro. You're doing silent witness because you knew we were right. How about you say, Dej? You know what? I put my hand up. You know, you're right. We were never involved. Chelsea, dusty club. And as for Villa, we don't know if they're coming or going. Pause. Do you get what I'm saying? We don't know if you're coming or going. And then Dan Potts, your beloved club. Don't worry, I got some merch coming out. One of the Spicy Spurs, Red Tottenham, Scots Bonnet FC, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That front three is the worst front three I've ever seen. It's worse than West Ham's front three. You man are done. Once Saliba leaves, Saka leaves, you're in the mud. So really, there's only one team on this panel that is on the upward trajectory. It can't get any worse for my club. That's the truth. It can't get any worse for Spurs. We're going up. Whereas all of you, man, if you're not careful, you're going down and you're going down fast.
I mean, sometimes you just got to applaud it, man. Sometimes you just got to applaud it.
He doesn't believe a single word of anything he's just said.
Were you happy with your performance, though, for real?
Oh, which performance?
Against my club.
I can't remember the game, to be honest.
1-0 win against Spurs.
We fucking win, bro. We should have battered you. We should have 5-0 up in the first half, man. What are you talking about?
Bro, we should have battered you.
We should have been 5-0 up in that first half, mate. Yeah, embarrassing.
Bro, your team
sitting there in 13th position, man, hanging around there with Man United and coming on the streams with Chest and that. What's going on, bro?
I'm not coming on there with Chest, but what I can say, bro, is that
you just said you're the only team on the up, bro. What's going on here, man?
Bro, because we can't be any lower, bro.
So you can't.
What's happening with Postecoglou now? What's happening? What's happening with Ange? You still get his ticket?
Yeah, bro. He needs to go contest tomorrow. Like, serious. Like, for me, this weekend we've got Bournemouth at home, and I hope that my manager, which is Iriola, I hope he does a number on us. Once he does a number, Daniel Levy, to say, hurry up and bring his brother in. Yeah, Postecoglou is a madman. You know, his love child, Archie Gray's got to play every bloody game. Left centre back, right back, left back. It's too much. It's too much. That's why we're getting killed. He's a madman. So, and then he didn't start Jed Spence. Jed Spence is better than Udogie and Porro combined. You don't start your best. The way Doku cooked Pedro Porro, Pedro Porro He tore him a new one. He's got holes in his underwear. He's got holes in his shorts. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, another crazy decision. Tottenham have taken 14 L's this season. The sooner this brother goes, the better. That Tottenham team, based on the dust that we've been seeing in the Prem this season, should be top 4. That current squad should be top 4. But under this Postecoglou, we won't even get top 10. So I want him out, and I want him out now. Any Tottenham fan wanting to keep this brother in, just doing this wing and the prayer, wishful thinking, are people who've been smoking Budgie Banton on an empty stomach. They're not serious people, and they need to give their head a wobble. So
I've got a serious question then, question, because before you came on, LB leveled something at Tottenham fans in the respect of top 4 and silverware, a la Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. Question to you, Deji. If you won the Europa League, but it meant that you had to keep Postecoglou for another season, or you don't win the Europa League and he goes at the end of this season, as a Spurs fan, what are you taking?
That's a great.
We all know the answer to that, though.
That's a fantastic question, but it's a very simple one to answer, bro. I would take another season of Postecoglou if he wins us the Europa League, partly because it guarantees us Champions League football and it's the trophy. We're getting too. And remember, I made it very clear on this show at the beginning of the year. I said I don't give a damn what Tottenham does as long as they're in the Champions League next season. If we get Champions League football next season, let him crack on. And as long as he has a decent first 3 months of next season, I'm prepared to bite the bullet. But as soon as we get knocked out of that Europa League, I want him gone immediately. If we keep him for another game after that, I will throw this phone at Daniel Levy. And for all the police officers watching the show, you can come and get me.
That's a madness. I don't get why you don't rate these trophies, man. Like other than. No,
I rate the Europa League.
So you rate the Europa League over the FA Cup?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit mad, personally. But okay.
No, bro. I mean, just quickly, guys, and I do apologize for this, but me and Errol, we discussed this the other day, and he fully agrees with me. In world football, there is a weight coefficient when it comes to trophies. The top 2 trophies in club football is at the Premier League or your domestic league and Champions League. Whichever one you win, they're on par for me, in my opinion. Then just below that is the Europa League, simply because it gets you Champions League football. If you win the FA Cup, what does that get you? It gets you UEFA Cup football.
Yeah, that's only because they've decided it that way. So yeah, you just want to be playing Champions League football. My point when I speak to you is, what's the end goal here? Because you don't want to win the Carabao Cup, you don't want to win the FA Cup, you only want to win the Europa League because you want to get Champions League. I mean, I'm not even funny here, but like, do you see Spurs winning the Champions League or Premier League in the next 5 years? But if the answer to that is no, then why wouldn't you be some more serious on these other trophies?
Why not? But what do those trophies do? Like, I'm being honest. Like,
only a Spurs fan could say that.
I'm going to say this.
Wow,
look, a lot of people try to pretend. Look, I get it, LB. You're somebody of heritage, and you're one of the ones, like, in Bath, you're not allowed to paint your door a certain color, and you're not allowed to use certain bricks. Do you know what I mean? We want to just keep it looking like this, and I think you're one of them brothers that just want to keep things the same. The FA Cup is rubbish, bro. It's old, and so is the Carabao Cup. No one gives a damn about it. That's the truth, and that changed when money came into football. If there was a lot of money involved in winning the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, maybe more clubs will put some respect on it. But you see the teams that teams put out. Look at the team you put out against Plymouth. If you guys were really, really serious, then Kevin De Bruyne wouldn't even have been on the pitch. So let's just be honest. So for me, I'm just following the leads of the teams that I see. Those trophies are no longer big, but also at the same time, I want the big trophies. It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So let's just go for the big ones and do a thing, rather than happen about. Look, if you win 10 Carabao Cups, and if you win 10 Carabao Cups in a row, and you win 1 Premier League in 10 years, Who's been more successful?
Yeah, but you're not winning the Premier
Who's
League.
been
This is the
more
point.
successful?
This is the point of the question. You ain't winning the Premier League or the Champions League.
I hear you, but I need you to answer that question. Which team has been more successful? 10 Carabao Cups or 1 Premier League in a 10-year span?
The team with 10 trophies.
No, come on, Pots. Like, stop this busy
Well, it is, though, isn't it? One 10,
you
one
me
one.
off the panel, like panelists. You know what I'm saying.
Let me ask you it this way. Let me ask you it this way then. So let me ask you it this way. In the last 10 years, which club's been more successful? Leicester City or Arsenal?
In the last 10 years?
That's what you're asking me, really.
Leicester.
Leicester have won a Premier League, but Arsenal have won at least 5 FA Cups.
Leicester.
You think Leicester have been more of a successful club than Arsenal in the last 10
One
years?
Premier League is equivalent to 5 FA Cups.
Yeah, but I'd probably go with that, because haven't they won the FA Cup as well?
Yeah,
Leicester won the FA Cup as well.
They
won the FA Cup as well. Yeah.
And the Prem. So I probably would go with that. But the point is, this is coming from Reggie, and the problem with this is, this is coming from you, whose club wins neither the Champions League or the Premier League.
You see, LB, I didn't want to go there with you.
Go there, bro.
I didn't want to. So, and wasn't it Gary Neville that said that Spurs is a bigger club than your club?
Oh, we just had that a minute ago.
Yeah. I'm happy for you, man.
And he's legit. The only reason why, look, LB, I'm not being funny. I mean, we met over Christmas, and I think you're a cracking lad. Do you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't change you for anyone. But the truth of the matter is, if it weren't for those Saudi people that bought your club, you wouldn't be here, bro. You would be on another channel, coloring a coloring book. Do you know what I mean? And getting subscribers that way. That's the bloody truth, bro. The truth is, you're everything because someone bought your club. You shouldn't be here, bro. You should be in League One.
Okay, now I hear that, and I genuinely am happy for you that you're a bigger club than us, isn't it? But at the same time, do you not want to win stuff?
Yeah, bro, but why do people believe that a team, just because they've had a poor history, that it won't change? Who would have foreseen that Nottingham Forest would be top 3 come beginning of March?
It's not a trophy.
Come on. Yeah, it's not. I know it's not a trophy, but the point is, you didn't see it coming. Who's to say that?
Is it not building blocks, though, Deji? Is it not stages? You know, you win 1 or 2 trophies, then you go for the next thing, then you go for the next thing. Like you won't ever be able to build a team good enough if you keep falling short, because the players will just keep leaving.
Rick, how did you get on this show? What did you win to get on this show?
Top 4.
You know what I'm saying?
Rich,
I'm not being.
Me and Errol are starting a petition when Villa win the FA Cup this year. Me and Errol are starting a petition. I've already told you about this anyway. To take Spurs out of the Big Six and replace them.
I'm just saying, like, for real. Like,
furthermore, though, where's the pride gone in being a cup team? Like, there were genuine teams over the years that have pride on themselves.
Chelsea built themselves.
We've been a cup team. We've won the league since 2017. We've been a cup team.
Do you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with that. Like, at least if you're saying
we've been a cup team for the best part of 20 years, man.
No, but look at United, though. United won 2 trophies and they're in the mud. I don't want that for my club.
Yeah, but the difference is, though, their infrastructure.
You're in the mud without trophies, though. Come on, man.
Can I just say that there's a lot of people being disingenuous here, and Errol, you're about to step into that world as well. Listen, I've never heard you, and this is the biggest. I think Liverpool's best season recently is the season where you won the Carabao Cup, you won the FA Cup, you got to a Champions League final, and you lost the league by 1 point. I never hear you talk about that, Errol. You know why? Because you don't rate those trophies. And that is the disgrace. Because if you look at it, Liverpool got to every final in that season. That, for me, showed me that Liverpool were the best team in the world that season. But no one talks about it, and no one gives them any props. So how can I shake my bum for those trophies if you can't shake your bum for those trophies?
Because they didn't win the 2 major trophies, bro.
Exactly. Because it's not major, baby.
No, they are major trophies. But if you want to say Liverpool were the best team in the world, then they had to win those trophies.
Oh, they got to the final of everything. They lost to a City
Right,
team
and they
by
didn't win
1
it. It doesn't
point.
matter, does it? They
They
didn't
lost to
win
you
those
by 1
trophies.
point, but you weren't stressing out getting to finals that season.
What?
How many finals did you get to that season when you won the
What
league?
year? What year is that?
2022. We knocked you out of the FA Cup. We knocked you out the FA Cup. I don't know who you went out to in the Carabao. But you know what? No, you've got to, I see what you're trying to say, but ultimately, I wouldn't say that was our best season because we wanted those. We wanted the big trophies. We felt as though on our day we could have beat anybody, and we fell short of that. It doesn't mean that we're going to not acknowledge because we still had a parade. And that was my other question I was going to ask you before. You're in and around my age. I think if you would have been to, in your formative years, a parade for a couple of, cup like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or a European or Europa League, and then in your early 20s would have been to another parade, I don't think you would ever look down the opportunity to win silverware, because when you're around your fans, feeling that energy, feeling that buzz, and seeing the pride of your team deliver something on your ends, walking through your ends with your head held high, chest out, dunking on Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, whoever else in London, you'd never look down on league on silverware. I'm sorry, I just don't believe you would. I think because you haven't had it, it's almost as if it's like, it's almost as if it's like, well, I've never had it, so I can't miss what I've never had.
Let me ask you this then, Deji, right? Let me ask you this, Dej. Oh, I'm getting some backup there. Do you think, Deji, that Rich is crazy for wanting to win the FA Cup over qualifying for the Champions League?
Yes.
I guess that is what you want, Rich, right?
Do you know what it is?
Trophy. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I respect Rich, but the truth of the matter is, Rich is suffering from, like, Rich is scared to be in the position that he's in. So for me, like, for example, like Aston Villa, why can't you kick on? Rich is like, oh no, it's too much. We're winning. Oh, it's too high. Crikey, I'm getting dizzy. Altitude. So let's just lower our standards a bit and go for something lower. I'm not doing that. No way, not for my club. Do you get me? And I said the same to Pete. I said, Pete, have some standards. We saw United win an FA Cup recently and a Carabao Cup. They're in the mud. Winning an FA Cup, winning a Carabao Cup doesn't tell me that you're a good team. It means you were fortunate or somehow, some way you won a cup. Winning the league, winning the Champions League means this is your side. Whatever happens this season, everyone's going to put some respect
I'm
on
about to roll you in the biggest
everyone's going to say that
I'm
Liverpool
afraid, my brother, because standards are all well and good. I could have standards for, I don't even really rate these, but I could have standards for Kendall Jenner. I could have standards for, Maya Jama. I could have a whole bag of standards. But if I'm bringing home a Lizzo every night, I'm not really one to be talking about no standards.
Well, she's been on that Ozempic, Errol.
She's lost a lot of weight. Yeah.
All right. Well, so even Lizzo's moving up in this world to get me, bro. Like, what are we doing?
She might be the Carabao Cup now, Pete.
Like, you can't sit there and say about standards if you're not reinforcing those said standards. You've got to be able to at least back those standards up to some degree. So it's all well and good. I can chat the most to, the finest things online. But if I've got no chance of actually bringing that home and bringing it through, what am I doing?
Also, Errol, yeah, you could have 6-pack, ripped, yeah, sick hairline, all that kind of shit, yeah. But she might just say no, innit? And that's what happened to Liverpool when they got 98 points, 97 points, and we still won the league. That's what happened to Arsenal last year. Very, very good. Didn't win the league. Yeah. So it's all well and good saying, oh yeah, well, we're going to go for the Premier League and go for the Champions League. But ultimately, unless you actually win it, yeah, they don't say nothing. Yeah, at least you can pick up trophies on the way, which is a legit thing, and lift silverware.
I hear that, and my last comment will be this. If Spurs was to go on a run of winning FA Cup and Carabao Cups over, let's say in the next 10 years, Spurs win five FA, between 5 Carabaos and FA Cups. So let's say we win 5 trophies.
You might have started to finally pay your rent in this big six.
You don't respect my club anymore.
You've been living in your overdraft for a long time.
It's not a major trophy. And Rich and Pete, to bring you guys in because I know about your standards. No one's
Villa's winning the Champions League anyway, Deji. I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
And win the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup this season, no one's going to bat an eyelid, mate.
Think of like how long, Pete. How long have Newcastle waited for a trophy?
70 years.
So, like Errol's right, it's when you're experiencing that day, when you're experiencing winning at Wembley, whatever it is, no one's talking about, oh well, I wish we'd have done better in the league. You're thinking about, we've just won a trophy, we've just won something, like that goes in the record books. Like, you can't buy that. No one will say, and I'm disappointed with what Villa have done in the league this season, and I'm sure everyone else with their teams is disappointed. But at the end of the day, there's only 5 trophies that you can win at the end of the season, 5-6 trophies. You know,
it's what our fan base is doing right now. Our fan base is putting all our hopes. We're putting everything on 2 weeks.
You're all right though, Pete. You don't like the FA Cup, remember? You're out of it now. You're fine. So it's all good.
I'm on about the Carabao Cup though. That's the thing. Like, I'm saying, like, in 2 weeks' time, that's what all the fans are kind of putting themselves on. That's what they have been doing since we got into the final.
I hope you win it, man. I hope you win it.
For a lot of Newcastle United fans,
look at Errol.
This is it. Like, they've never. There are some that have gone throughout their whole lifetime that have never won anything, and you've got to put that into perspective. We're not in the same position as a lot of people on this panel that have won trophies, major trophies, and won them on a regular basis. We're not like that. So, you know, we're in a position where we know winning this trophy would mean so much to the area, the region, the club, the fan base, but also the trajectory of where we want to go. You know, we're in a similar position to Rich. Like, we win a trophy this season, it can propel us onto a different level. It will breed confidence in the club that we can go on and do it again. We've been so close in many a years gone by, never quite reached it. It's going to be a hell of a challenge, and we've made it a lot more difficult after yesterday. But if we go and win it, nothing else matters. Like, being deadly serious, if we were lucky enough to win that in 2 weeks' time, nobody needs to talk to me about race for top 5. Nobody needs to talk to me about anything else. Doesn't matter.
You'd be happy to miss out on top 5.
You'd be happy to miss out on Europe.
I'm being deadly serious with you. I'm being deadly serious with you. If we win that trophy, for a lot of fans, particularly the elder generation of the fans, they can die happy, because that's what it means to Newcastle United, because it's been so long. For Newcastle United fans, you don't even need to talk to us about top 5, Champions League, this, that, and the other. We'll keep playing. We'll finish the season, but no Newcastle fan's going to care. They're just not. They're not. That's the reality.
Do you feel now? Like, might as well segue to Newcastle quickly, Pete, because I thought Anthony Gordon was an idiot. If I'm honest, I watched it and thought, what are you doing? Obviously, Isak, I don't know how how bad that injury is. He hobbled off, but hopefully he's all right for that game. What's your confidence with that, bro? With that competition, and what went on yesterday?
I don't know if you boys watched it, but it was one of the worst games I've watched of football.
Yeah, I watched it.
It was horrible. It was a horrible game of football just to watch, period. But if you could have asked for if you asked for the worst possible Sunday, watching Newcastle United, that was it. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Sven Botman failed a fitness test. Lewis Hall got injured against Liverpool, is now going to see a specialist. He's going to miss the final, probably. There's a high chance he's going to miss the final, which is ridiculous, because I thought he was absolutely superb against Salah. That's the quietest I've seen Salah all season. Yeah, you won, but that's the quietest I've seen him. I thought Lewis Hall was fantastic. So that's a massive miss for us, potentially. And then you got the absolute stupidity of Anthony Gordon. He knows it. The club knows it. The manager knows it. They'll play it down in the media, but they know he's massively fucked.
They're going to be an appeal.
There'll be an appeal. He ain't winning that appeal. Newcastle fans are already looking beyond it. They're already looking beyond it. The club can go and say that they're going to appeal. There is no chance that gets overturned. And you know what? Rightly so. Because who in their right mind would do something so stupid like that when the whistle was already blown and the game was already in a hole? Why would you even do that? It was absolute stupidity. stupidity of the highest level. We thought we'd got that out of him after his little strop at the back end of his first season at Newcastle, away at Brentford, when he kind of got the hoof with Eddie Howe, and people going, "Oh, he's going to kick off this, that, and the other." We thought we'd knocked that out of him, but that came back on Sunday, and it came back at the worst possible time for him and for us. He misses a final. Not only that, he misses the 2 games either side, West Ham and Brentford, because we are officially still fighting for the Champions League. And if we don't win the Carabao Cup, that's our only priority. So we miss then a key player for those 2 crucial games. So it's just a constant all round. Isak went off as a precaution. I'd be shocked if he doesn't play against West Ham. And we're in a position now where we're out the FA Cup, a game that was more than winnable because Brighton weren't good. Brighton were better than us slightly. Lovely finish from Welbeck, but all in all, it was a game at home, St James's Park, that I'll be honest, I expected us to go and win. And when we're winning 1-0 with a comfortable penalty, I expected us to go and win that game, and it was really, really disappointing to see. And has it dropped my confidence levels for the Carabao Cup? Naturally, it has. It has. We're a lot of Newcastle fans now are living on a hope. I hope that we can get players back fit. I hope that we can turn up on the day and something click and it works. But again, we're living on a hope. We're not going in. We're not bouncing into this game. You know, if we'd have gone and beat Brighton, if we then go and beat West Ham, we're bouncing into that game with a bit of confidence. And regardless of the game at Anfield, like we beat Forest, beat Brighton, beat West Ham, you're winning, you're confident, you're scoring goals, you're bouncing into that game. We're not. We're literally flat on the floor. Newcastle fans are flat on the floor today, absolutely deflated because it was a horrible performance. We're out of the FA Cup. We've got players injured, and the players that are coming in are just not at the same level. And yeah, we're living on a hope right now, which is really, really frustrating because our season was almost kind of built for this, and it could go flat very quickly.
You could look at it the other way, Pete. You could look at it the other way, man, because if it doesn't, and you do beat Liverpool and you do get Champions League, that could be a phenomenal season. So it is kind of like on a nice edge right now. It really is. And let me ask you, if it does go wrong, are you worried about the Bruno G's, the Isaks of this world, or do you think they stay whatever happens for another year? Like, what are you telling me?
If we don't get Champions League, the one player I see going of that level, and I don't put Gordon in that level. I put Isak, Bruno, Sandro Tonali in that level. I'd put Sven Botman in that level, but he hasn't played enough football to be considered at that point. But I'd certainly put him, those 4 I'd put in that level. Out of those 3, if anyone would leave, I don't think any more than one would leave. But I think the one that leaves is Bruno. And I think
I'd agree with that.
Is he even playing that well at the minute? I mean,
Bruno isn't playing well
at the minute.
Bruno isn't playing well at the moment, but Bruno is a quality technician. It's very rare that Bruno has a down moment like this where he's in a run of bad form. Even in the whole time he's been at this club, he never really has bad form. But for me, he's in a bad rut at the moment. But he is a quality technician. You're telling me you put him in that Man City team, he doesn't perform. He'd thrive in that team. He'd thrive. He's press resistant. His quality on the ball, his passing, his movement, his creativity. He's got everything. He's got everything that team would need. I wouldn't begrudge him leaving at that point. I think it would be well under 100 million that we're selling for, and I think he would go with the club's blessing. But I think he's the only one that I would be worried about moving on. If I'm being honest with you, the others are tied down to long-term contracts, and I'm not quite sure that there are clubs out there that would spend the sort of money that we'd want for the other 2.
Do you think Eddie Howe's job could be up for grabs as well? Because I think it was you, LB, was saying you think he should go if you don't get top 5.
I think so.
I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. No, I think I've said. I think I might have said it before. And this is not because it's not because I would want him to stay. And what I'm saying to you is that I think the club have almost promised him this summer. I keep reiterating it. You can't go. If any of your clubs went 4 windows, which it will be in this summer, without signing a player, like, how can you put all of that on the manager? How can you do that?
Is it not worth them selling someone to be able to reinvest in other areas of the pitch?
But this is the thing now, because we haven't signed for that long, we now have the money to go in the summer.
Right.
So we don't have to sell. The PSR situation's actually good. And this is what we've been building to. The club have now said to Eddie Howe, right, yet you haven't had the money to invest, but this summer we are going to invest and we are bringing players in. And the right winger that you wanted, the goalkeeper, fucking hell, both of them were shite. The goalkeeper is going to get replaced. We're getting a new right centre back in because Shari's been absolutely shocking. Like, we're going to be bringing players in this summer. At that point, I then would agree with LB and say, next season, you've got now the tools to do the job that you want to do. You have to then go and do the job.
Would you agree, though, Pete, that if you do get those 4, let's say you get a brilliant goalkeeper, a defender, a right winger, and another position maybe in the midfield to bolster it, would you not agree that you would have? Because for me, like I said this earlier to the boys, I look at Chelsea. I think Chelsea, I don't know how good this Maresca is, but I think on paper, if Chelsea went and got a goalkeeper, a striker, or maybe a winger and a centre half, they could quite easily, if they keep players fit, go for a title push. Could Newcastle do that? If you got the right players in, because your 11 is pretty decent, bro. I can't lie. If you was to get 4 or 5 players in that window, do you think, I'm not saying you win the title by any means, do you think you should be one of those teams that's considered pushing it? Because I just look at Newcastle and I think you've got all the money and I appreciate you haven't been able to spend it. When on are we going to, because I said when they took over, I was like, hello, Newcastle. And I'm kind of 3 years on now and I'm thinking, are they going to turn up soon? Newcastle, where are they? Because
they've got to improve their away record. The away form is terrible. Like, they're not going to compete for anything if they don't improve that away form.
And to add on to that, from Charlie's perspective as well, it depends if they do finish in a European spot this year. Yeah,
I was going to say
those 4 that you just mentioned might make that 11 really strong. But to then go Wednesday, Sunday, or Tuesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Sunday, that could throw an extra spanner or an extra layer of complication into that in terms of the wider squad. Is my only.
Would you even get those 4 players if you've not got European football?
Well, from what we're hearing is that the targets that we have is regardless of whether we get Champions League, Europa League, or Conference League, or Europe at all. Are you
thinking Mbeumo?
I have no idea. I have no idea who we're going for. If you ask me, I would love to go for him. If I'm being honest with you, Brian Mbeumo should be going to Europa League minimum. Like, he's capable of playing at that level with the performances he's put, not just this season, but the season before. He's deserving to go higher. So I think a lot of those are based on a number of different things. But for me, I initially said that I thought if Eddie Howe didn't get European football minimum, I thought he would get sacked. I don't think that now, because I don't think the club will sack him off the basis is that I thought last summer and in January, we would invest in the team, and we haven't. So it's almost like because they haven't invested, they're going to give him that summer to the player and the players to go, right, okay, we haven't given you what you wanted. Now we're giving you what you want because we've got the money to do it. Now go and show us what you're capable of. So for me, next season, it should be a Champions League push. There's 5 spots. We're in that race right now without those 5 players. This summer, if we get those 5 players, and we bolster the squad, we should be in that conversation. There's no doubt about it. And for me, that is where next season Eddie Howe will be.
I think it's a league title push next year, mate.
Yeah, but and you know what? With what you've said, LB, and what Potts has said, I understand it, because you're looking at that 11 with potential additions, and you're thinking it is strong enough for a title push. But this team is still not used to playing Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday.
I think that'll be up to the manager though to manage that situation.
And this is the thing. So I can't say. I would love to say right now, yeah, let's push for a title, but I can't say that now.
That's Spurs' job next season.
I genuinely can't say that now because I don't know how we're going to manage that. I don't know what squad we're looking at. I do think we'll.
No, I hear that, but I think that should be the aim. I think that should be the objective for Newcastle. With Isak, Tonali, Joelinton, at the moment you've still got Bruno. You mentioned Botman yourself, and then you're signing 3 or 4 quality players. I think the target for Newcastle next year should be to go and win the league.
Man, is this window, what was this window the most important window under this new ownership this summer coming up? It surely has to be.
This is the most important window since the first window when we were trying to stay in the league. That this is the most important window since that, because this will set the direction, I think, for the next 2 or 3 years of Newcastle United. And it could go either way. It could go that we really kick on. For me, I think next season we'll target the cups again. I think we'll go for the Carabao, we'll go for the FA Cup. If we're in Europe, we'll go for a European trophy. I think we'll target the cups because I think Eddie Howe is desperate to get that trophy. I think he's desperate to get that trophy. I think the players are. I don't care what anybody says, any Newcastle United fan says, those players are holding back in certain games because they are wanting to play in this cup. I'm absolutely certain of it. I'm watching the players. I'm watching the way they're playing, and the lack of intensity at sometimes is so different to others.
Was you shocked about that on Wednesday, Pete? Because that was not the same team we played at your gaff just before. Was it just after Christmas or before Christmas? That 3-3 was completely different. There was large spells of that game where you was all over us. In that game on Wednesday night, it felt like a training session at times. Liverpool, you just felt like they just had far too much in every single department.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not saying that they threw the game, but the priority wasn't Liverpool Wednesday. For me, I said it to the boys privately, the loaded lads and some Newcastle fans. I don't think there was anything wrong with Isak. I think Isak could have played. I genuinely do. I think they've rested him because they're trying to look after him, manage his minutes because they want him fit for the final. I think that's what they've done. I think it was the same with Joelinton. Joelinton played. I thought Joelinton played well on Sunday for what he could do since he's not played for weeks. I think Joelinton was supposed to play at Anfield and he didn't. I think they're holding players back on purpose, and this is why I think that they're holding out for this trophy. I just hope that they put their performance in, because if they put a performance in similar to the one against Man United, there will be questions asked of why they put it all in for this Carabao Cup and then not turned up. I'm not saying we're going to go and win, but I need to know that they're going to put a performance in and they're going to compete a hell of a lot better than they did at Anfield. I want to see us compete like we did against you at St James's Park back end of November, because if we do that, I think we have got a chance of winning if we play like that. But again, big questions. This next year there will be big questions asked of the manager, of certain players, of Newcastle United. There will be, and look, I'll be one of the first ones asking some of these questions because we need to move this club on now. It's as simple as that.
I agree. I think Newcastle have got to move forward now. Like they've had all the PSR stuff. Hopefully that's done, and now you can go. I'm expecting a big summer, man. And before I move to Rich, I'm expecting a big summer for Manchester City. Categories says Pep started first 11 versus Tottenham and his second 11 versus Plymouth. Nobody's even noticed the changing of the guard. Summer will add to the new 11. I totally agree. But Ruben Diaz might have to go because he's going to be definitely too busy now. I'll tell you that now. Wow. How are you supposed to concentrate on your football? Now you've got Maya Jama on your arm.
Is that real? Is that real?
No, that's legit, yeah. That is legit, yeah.
Apparently it's legit.
Yeah,
he's done well. He's done well.
Standards, bro. Standards.
Bro, he's had a good season. He's had a good season.
Oh, dear. Unbelievable. Rich, what's happening at Villa? Are you going to win something this season? Because a lot of people I'm speaking to are saying Villa are going to win the FA Cup. Now, I think Man City will win it. I hope I'm wrong. That's the last team I think deserves to win it. But, sorry, LB. But I do think that Villa have got a chance. And Champions League, I keep getting my mate, Villa are going to beat Liverpool. Villa Villa are going to beat Liverpool. He keeps saying it to me. Villa are going to get Liverpool and beat them. Talk to me, bro. What are you telling me? Because the Premier League's, you're still looking. You have to scroll down to find you still a bit. You know what I'm saying? Weird.
Well, yeah, we keep saying, "Oh, we're only 5 points off fifth and all that jazz," but we're crap in the league. Let's face it, we're so inconsistent. But we've got a team.
Are you like 10th and like 6 points ahead of Spurs?
Yes, we are.
Hold that.
Still haven't been able to catch us. I keep thinking, when Villa lose, I keep thinking, Spurs might catch us, but then they go and get beat. So yeah, there's no chance. But yeah, we were terrible against Crystal Palace, but we've kind of got a team that's been set up for cup competitions this season. We've got players who can turn up at certain times. And we've added to that. We've got Asensio who started really well. We've got Rashford who started really well. And then you factor in Morgan Rogers, Leon Bailey, Jacob Ramsey, Ollie Watkins. So we've got the firepower to be able to turn up and produce in sort of big moments. So yeah, I am confident, particularly after the draw against Preston, that we should get to the semi-finals, and then I am confident we can go all the way in the FA Cup. The Champions League's a completely different beast, but we've got a manager who knows what he's doing, who knows how to get far in these competitions, who knows how to set up teams to play in two-legged competitions. So who knows? But yeah, it's been a funny old season. But if we can come out of it with an FA Cup quarter-final, maybe even semi-final of the Champions League, I'll be really happy with that.
Look, man,
that doesn't sound like winning a trophy, though. I mean, we just had 20 minutes of me being berated by the panelists.
Winning the FA Cup.
Richard just said, maybe an FA, but maybe, and hopefully a semi-final. No one said a word.
Semi-final of the Champions League and winning the FA Cup. That's what I said.
The only thing I would say, sorry, and I know LB is ready. He's chomping at the bit here, and Pete's already on his phone ready to tear you up, Rich. Is the fact that Unai Emery is exactly what he says on the tin. So you're not doing anything in the FA Cup because he's not renowned for winning domestic league. He is a European guru. So which means there's a possibility that you could win Champions League. Now I want to know, Rich, have you dared to dream?
Of course, I've dared to dream, but it's not going to happen. We'd have to beat. I think we beat Bruges, and then I think we give Liverpool or Paris Saint-Germain a good game, a really good game. But then I think it will be Real Madrid in the semi-final. And look, let's be real, we ain't going to beat Real Madrid. So we can get. I agree, but that was a one-off game. If we'd have had if we'd have had the situation where Newcastle had the season before, I think we'd have got pumped at the Allianz Arena. So I don't think that would play into it. But I think I am very confident about the FA Cup this year. I think we beat Man City already this season. So if that's the team that we face in the final, I think we can turn up and hurt them. I think we've got players that can do damage against them.
Anyone else have Aston Villa to win it?
Yeah, I think Villa win it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, go on, Charlie.
No, I just think obviously the draws help them massively. And yeah, they are set up to perform well in the cups this year. Yeah, the league form's been very inconsistent. They're 10th at the moment. And yeah, the cup competitions are what their season's resting on. So I honestly think they've got the players that in one-off games, which these knockout ones are, and they've got the players that can cause damage. And they've got a manager who knows his way around cup competitions very, very well. I know it might not be in Europe, but he still knows knockout football very well. He's a knockout specialist. I don't see really any. I mean, City obviously. If City get past Bournemouth, that will be a bit of a problem. But if City go out, then it makes that little bit easier for Villa. So look, for me, I think if this is Villa's best chance to win an FA Cup, they'll get, not to say ever, but certainly for the longest time possible, this is their best opportunity to win a domestic cup, and I think they'll do it.
Charlie, are you suggesting that if Villa don't do it this season, then it could be 40 years?
Yeah, actually, it could well be, mate. I'll be real. I think it could well be. Like there's sometimes.
I'm with you on that.
These opportunities come and you've got to grab them. Like, you don't know when the next one's coming. So they've got to do it. Like, they won't get a better chance in this, I don't think, for a long, long time.
Yeah, agreed.
Let me ask this then. Obviously, Rich and LB can't get involved in this because they're still in the competition. But Pete, Errol, Charlie, Deji, and myself, who would we like to see win it? Errol and Charlie, you think Villa would? Who would you like to see win the FA Cup? Errol, I'll start with you. Who would you like to see win it now? I know you
Villa.
don't really care, but
it
is Villa. Okay,
real talk. I actually don't mind Villa. Like, genuinely, I think they've been good value for money in the last couple of seasons. I think they've had quality, and I think in terms of what's realistic for them to actually go and win, obviously they're probably not going to finish in the top 4 this season now. But if they are able to go and lift a bit of silverware, I still think it'd be a very, very good season for them by all accounts. So yeah, I'd like Villa to be it in terms of like pound for pound, and then if Villa couldn't pull it off, maybe Brighton. Am I right in saying Brighton have never won anything in their history?
Brighton and Palace, yeah. Brighton and Palace have never won anything.
I don't think I could tolerate D. Like,
nah.
he's another one. He's another one like Lawless. Like, you can't give him anything. But I like Maz. Maz seems all right. He seems like a humble brother. So yeah, if they got their first ever victory, I wouldn't be mad at Brighton either. But the only thing with the Brighton thing is, and I think this is where it gets interesting, Villa, the price is the price already for Villa. I think that a lot of their stock players, there's value in them. I think if Brighton was to go and win a cup, the inflation would be mad. And I know there's a few prospects within that Brighton squad that teams are probably looking to kind of pick from in the summer. If they win say that again.
I would say they deserve it, man. That is one properly run club. And if their prices are overinflated for their players, so be it, mate. That is the case. I prefer that way around than people swooping in and buying 100 mil players.
That Balaba's good, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. But like the price for Balaba's going to go up the roof. Who else? Yeah. They've got that. Who's the
João Pedro?
They've got João Pedro, the other one. They've got that. Is it? What's the kid's name? The Japanese. Is he Japanese?
Mitoma.
You've got him. You've got
Minte.
I even like what the Van Heck. Like,
he's well.
Their recruitment is superb.
Their recruitment's solid, but if they've got medals to their name, all of a sudden there's extra 10, 15, 20 million getting slapped on the price of them this summer. I don't think they'd have enough pull power to keep them. I think that's pretty much you've done your job. Go to the destination that you want to go to is your next step. Whereas I think at Villa, the price is going to be the price whether they win something this summer or they don't. In terms of some of the players that you probably look at from the squad.
Well, that's not your issue. That's Chelsea's issue because that's where Chelsea.
No, I can't have Brighton winning an FA Cup. That'd be awful.
Yeah, your transfer window. That's where it would be awful.
Adam would be chopping you up, Charlie, on the loaded.
I can't have anyone but Brighton. I think Villa. I'll be happy with Bournemouth. Anyone but Brighton. I can't have Brighton winning an FA Cup.
That would be mad for you, man. You'll feel it.
I would like to put my hand up and say maybe I'm getting soft. I think it would be very cute for Newcastle win the Carabao Cup and Villa to win the FA Cup. Wouldn't that be a cute thing for football? These two teams that haven't seen a trophy in years.
You nearly said dust.
And then they got to wait another 70 years plus. So, I wouldn't mind for entertainment purposes if Newcastle...
Rich, Deji saying that now, but then if we both win a trophy and it becomes a top seven...
You winning the Carabao Cup, mate, so you can chill out.
No, man, I'll put a team forward that hasn't been mentioned yet that I'd like to see win it. Arsenal 2.0, Fulham. That's what I'd like. That's what I'd like, man.
Yeah.
Let's get these young, like, give it to Reece Nelson, give it to Smith Rowe, Leno, you know what I mean? Iwobi. Let's let them all lift some silverware.
I wouldn't mind Palace either. Crystal Palace, I wouldn't mind that much.
It's just D. D will never shut up, man. This is a problem. It becomes who you know, doesn't it?
And it's the price of the players from Crystal Palace. All of a sudden, you've got their centre half again. He's going to be costing you 100 mil. There's this one. I can't take that chat from him.
Yeah, that's the problem, man.
But are we for some of us in this chat here, for Charlie, Rich, myself, would it not? Well, okay, for Rich, it's slightly different because you're still in that trophy. But for us, would it not be more beneficial for LB to win it in Man City, because that place then for Europe opens up further down the league.
It would be more beneficial.
Better opportunity. That's the Wolfie mentality coming out here. That's his mentality.
Oh, that is true, though. Yeah, for the Premier League.
I don't want Man City winning anything, man. Jeez,
They've won enough.
They've won everything, man.
It would benefit us, though, for sure, in terms of Europe.
I don't give a damn, man. I can't lie. I want anybody but Man City winning that FA Cup, man. I can't have them winning silverware again when they've been crap this year.
Exactly. Right. You just know that I'd be really bad if we win the FA Cup this year with how bad we've been. Bro, I'm gonna be bad, mate. I'm gonna be bad. I can't lie.
LB though, like are you not thinking that your club are gonna go all in for this FA Cup now? Like you pretty much, you're gonna get top. You're gonna get.
I think for the club, because they'll operate as a business, unfortunately, they will go all in for the Champions League spots more. But for me, I think the Champions.
That's what big clubs do.
Yeah, but as a fan, I'd go for the cup obviously all day long. 100%.
I think
Pep would go for. I think Pep. It's all well and good you saying what the club will want to do from a business, but I think Pep would go for the cup as well. At the end of the day, he's up in it. He wants to win shit.
Right. He want to put the wrongs of last season right, like losing to Man U in the final. He's going to want to put that right this season.
And obviously, if we do have like players going to be leaving, we've got let 4 or 5 players leave. Some of them might be legends of the football club. Then it'd be nice for them to leave with a trophy, wouldn't it? So, yeah, like I say, if we can win a trophy this year with how bad we've been, that's freaking insane. Do you know what I mean? And like I said,
you're just going to give it to Arsenal, man.
And Spurs as well. Yeah, I mean, like I said this a couple of weeks ago. You know, Deji could only dream of my.
You can't. You know what?
Well,
can I just say something, LB? Because sometimes, as a panelist, we forget ourselves. And so, and somebody in the chat, I'm trying to find his name because he made a very good point, and I don't want to take credit for it, but I will say it, and I think you know who you are. He stated earlier that there's 2 people who shouldn't be on this show today, and you're one of them. You're not in Europe.
Yeah, but it's the race for Europe.
Race.
Can you explain what the show's for, mate?
At the moment,
not Royal Rumble elimination match, mate. Like when you get thrown out the ring, you're out.
I just want you to understand the privilege that you've been given this evening.
I hope you feel privileged, LB.
I'm so privileged, man. I'm so privileged. Honestly, guys.
What is this Spurs and City rivalry, man? I tell you, it's
not even a rivalry, man. You know what I mean? It's just a weird. It's just a weird sort of thing that Spurs fans. You know what I mean? Like I say, I think they're confused fan base. They're a confused fan base. They don't know what lane they're in. So they just pick fights with everybody. You know what I mean? They'll pick fights with Arsenal. They'll pick fights with United. They'll pick fights with everybody because they don't fully understand what lane they're meant to be in. You know.
I'm just stating the fact though. You're out of Europe and I'm still in Europe.
It's funny. I'll tell you, it is funny. But yeah, look, Spurs are looking to put something in the trophy cabinet. They're bigger than Man City and they always beat Man City. I'll have to do. That's what it is for now. Look, I've got to be honest. I think it's going to be my last question of the night, which is the Champions League. If I'm honest, I don't think Arsenal. I've not even got confidence we're going to get through PSV, boys. I've got to be honest.
Come on. Man. What are we doing here?
This is Billy vibes, man. This is Billy vibes right now.
If you watch Arsenal like I have done, I'm just sick and tired of it. And I'm not confident that we can even get through any of our games coming up. We're that bad up front. We really are. Honestly, we are. We don't score goals.
PSV have won 1 game out of the last 6.
Yeah, exactly. And we are that bad at the moment.
You'd like your boy Ivan Perisic to do a job in Arsenal, yeah?
Mate, I mean, you heard him earlier today, mate. He's called them out. He doesn't think they're great. And I wouldn't be surprised if Perisic scores. And what a legend he would be. For me, if Perisic scores against the Red Tottenham, mate, he deserves a statue outside my stadium, definitely.
We're not confident as a fan base. Let me tell you that. Look, PSV aren't amazing, but neither are we, man. They beat Juventus 3-1. Not that they're great at the moment, Juve. But I don't know, man. I think if we get through, it's going to be a stink fest. Just need to
He'll
stink
beat
our
them
way
over
through it
2 legs.
somehow.
Over 2 legs,
I mean-
you'll do it. If it was just 1 leg tomorrow in Holland, different, but 2 legs you'd beat them.
Yeah, you should be all right.
Yeah, but I thought they were pretty decent against Liverpool. Didn't they beat Liverpool in the champs?
Yeah, 3-2. Did they beat you 3-2, Errol? Yeah.
Hey, it's not to be sniffed at, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
People are not respecting them, but
You got a tricky winger.
Liverpool
Can't
won the
remember his
World
name,
Cup.
but he did have a tricky winger.
I got
Some
that
young guy.
Bakayoko, Belgian kid. He's good.
Yeah, I think it might have been him. Yeah, he was quality.
Bakayoko's good. Noah Lang's good. Got De Jong, obviously.
Lucas Perez good as well, Potts.
Oh God! Do you know what? Luckily, Charlie, he ain't registered, so he
Oh,
can't
he's not.
play.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because he would definitely score against us, like Eddie Nketiah did this season in the cup. But no, look, I don't see it, man. I think Liverpool. If I'm honest, I'm going to say it, I think it'll be an El Clasico Champions League final.
Oh, that'd be tasty, man. Oh, yeah, that'd be decent.
I don't even think
Madrid
aren't guaranteed. Madrid aren't. They got beat by Real Betis the other night.
They got Atletico, haven't they?
They're not on track to win La Liga. Yeah, but they're not on track to win La Liga this season either. They've still got work to do in the league. And Atletico on their day have got their number. So I wouldn't guarantee an El Clasico. I'm gutted it can't be an all English final. I'll tell you that much. But I don't see Real Madrid making the final this year.
Yeah,
That's my bold prediction on it.
Madrid didn't beat Atletico in the league this year. They had 2-1 all draws, so it's not a guarantee. But like with Madrid, you can never count Madrid out Champions League. Something different just happens when they play.
Madrid will get to the final, man. They're just different gravy, innit?
Madrid will get to the final because they always bloody do, man. Even when they're rubbish, they stink their way through.
Man, you can't be like that. You can't be shook. If anyone in the year should be shook at them, it should be me for what they've done to me, the PTSD that they've given me and Michael. But you just can't let them. You can't let that be the mentality with them because all of a sudden every single.
The thing is, they're all though. We're Atletico Madrid as well, man. Like either one of us have got to potentially play Atletico or Real Madrid because we ain't going to get through either of them. And they're both bloody hard, man. Atletico Madrid are ridiculous under Simeone. They will be. I wonder if Liverpool got more chance of beating Real Madrid than Atletico Madrid because just coming up against that is horrible. Like we know what it's like. Even when the Everton Merseyside derby, you saw like how Liverpool were getting rattled with the kind of Merseyside derby and the way it was in the nastiness of it and stuff. And that's what Atletico Madrid do with Simeone, man. They just beat you up.
The two sides that you've got to box clever with both of them. If you in different ways though. In terms of the Atletico Madrid, you can't get drawn into the emotion of it. You can't get drawn into that dirty kind of dark art of the football. You just got to be uber professional, do your job, and hope your quality comes through. With Real Madrid, you've got to ride your luck and take your chances. And if you're able to take your chances and then to close out a game as well, that's really important in terms of a little bit more control. Because that's how we beat them this season. We just looked like we had too much for them and they couldn't keep up.
I've just realised the reason why Errol doesn't think Real Madrid will get there. I've just realised why he doesn't think Real Madrid are going to get there. I didn't even clock, man. How did I not clock this? It's because he thinks they're going to be the ones to bump him out, mate.
Final.
He's got his chest out already.
No. I think Atletico might dump them out on the slide, but if Atletico don't, then we might have to do the business as well.
What about PSG? You're a little bit worried?
I'm a little bit, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a tough game.
It is. For me, I think it is anyway. Like it's mad. I was saying to someone in work before, if we had a little bit more of a lead on this current league over Arsenal, I'd almost be like we could have rested loads, but we haven't played this weekend, so it's almost like we've got that rest. So provided we get a result away, I think at Anfield we'll do the job. The only thing is for me, again, it sounds mad, but I don't need the Champions League this year. Like as much as it'd be nice and it's a novelty to be able to say, yeah, we're in the semis or whatever. Where the things are looking right now for us, I don't need. It's not a be all and end all if we don't do the Champions League. So do we just let it be what it be and then just make sure that we get the league over the line, or do we just go for it now because we're in a healthy position in the league? it just depends on the appetite of these players. And again, what you guys have all dead you alluded to earlier, the likes of a Salah, Van Dijk, Trent, who knows what's going to happen to them come the end of the summer. They might just want to try and clean up any trophy that they can have, just in the hope that, you know, they sign off in the best possible way. So I'm not guaranteeing anything against PSG, but I would like to beat them at this stage right now. Yeah.
Hey, yo, Potstick, can I ask you a question, bro? I seen
go on, bro.
What was that? Sorry, I don't know her name, but there was a woman who's on, I think it might be your channel or Igal's channel, who does Arsenal content, and I think she's been pro Arteta, and now she's saying that if you don't win anything, she'd be Arteta out.
Jess Black or whatever.
Oh, is that what she got? Jess? Yeah. Are you noticing that? I asked Lee this morning. Are you noticing that there's some Arsenal fans now who was in the pro Arteta camp that are maybe softening up to the maybe not like I'm Arteta out, but maybe going like asking questions, because before, like some of these Arsenal fans who were like pro Arteta, they weren't even asking questions in it. They were more they're more Arteta fans than they were Arsenal fans. Are you noticing now that some of these guys, even if it's just a minority of them, are starting to like question whether or not actually Arteta is the man?
Definitely questioning. Majority of them want to give him next season because they're all getting gassed by the summer.
But isn't that what they said this season?
Well, I
because that's what I feel like. I don't know about you lads on the panel here, but I feel like at the start of this season, a lot of Arsenal fans, like in the chats, like on the panels, they would all say, "This is the season, like this is the season," and then like it's got to the end of the season. I feel like it's just the same.
So there is some of them. There is like Yuri Gals, for example, who will say, no, he's got to win. Say, if he dares finishing below Arnie's slot, he's got to go. And now they've changed the goalpost to say, actually, the injuries have cost him. Let's give him next summer. So you've got that section of the fan base. You've also got the section that are like Lee Gunner and Northside that are like, get him out, get him out, get him gone. Then you've got the ones like me who are just like, still not convinced, just bloody win me something because I'm getting pissed off. And then you've got those that are like now starting to go, yeah, maybe this guy ain't going to deliver. And I think there's more of them this season than there ever has been, if I'm honest. I think there's a lot more that have said to me, look, man, I was really behind him, but now I'm starting to wonder, because when the pressure comes on, he cracks. And you look at the scenarios in this season, right? Newcastle, home and away, disgraceful performances, pressure, yeah? That was pressure because you could have had to win the trophy. Everyone said Arsenal's to win. It's going to be Arsenal to win the Carabao Cup. Then you get to the FA Cup. We lost to Man United. Man United. This season, Man United on penalties, the pressure got to him. And then you get to the West Ham game. Now, people might think that's not a pressure game, but it was because Liverpool had City, right? Now, I know it's not the City of old, right? But it is City at the Etihad. And we rolled over. And I think, the pressure's got you. Just like it did the season before with Villa. Yeah, Rich, when we played you at the Emirates. That was a pressure game. City fans were like, oh, my God, they've lost. Wow, they've let us in. Brilliant. So I just think every time the pressure comes, we bottle it. And that's exactly what's happening under Mikel Arteta. And you have to look at the manager for that. Yeah, you can look at the players, but the manager as well, right? So to answer your question, I think, a few more, but not nowhere near enough to get him out yet, LB. Nowhere near enough. And that's the thing. I just think we just keep going. I'm worried that we just keep going. The only thing I will say, I think Andrea Berta is a brilliant, brilliant appointment if this happens. I think that, for me, is a fantastic option as sporting director. I think that, to me, could really change the summer in a positive way. It would give.
Do you reckon he's a big player this year? Because we did a lot of talk about Isak. Yeah, I personally don't think that's ever going to happen. No. But I do think that you are going to sign a big player, because I feel like you have to. I feel like Arsenal fans will, if you don't. What name is out there that's big enough that people go, all right? Because I definitely think Arsenal are going to sign someone big this summer.
I'm not sure if it will be someone big, if I'm honest.
I think it'd be Sesto. Pretty Sesto.
The following names are big enough: Nico Williams, Zubamendi, Sesko. If you think those names are big enough, then fair play. I don't, personally. If it was a Gyökeres or an Isak, then I would be looking at it, or a Florian Wirtz. I'll be looking at it thinking, cool, that's what we want to be seeing. So I'm kind of hoping that Andrea Berta comes in and we don't look at the names that we've been linked with under Mikel Arteta and Edu, because I feel like we need to go to the next level. I would love to. People on the panel don't want to hear this, but I would love to see us put in a bid for Isak. Sorry, Rich. I'd love to go in for Morgan Rogers. I would love to go in for those sort of names, because I feel like that would take in those positions to the next level. I still think Morgan Rogers is better than Marino. Isak is better than Havertz. Clearly, we need a left winger, right? And there's probably left wingers around that people haven't spoken about yet. Like Lookman, for example, at Atalanta is one if it isn't Nico Williams. Or maybe you go and do something with Cunha again, with Wolves, you know? So
Mitoma from Brighton.
it's a great shout, Mitoma. So this is what I mean. These are the sort of names I think we should be linked with. But I just don't see it. I don't have the faith, LB, but it's justified not to have the faith, bro. Like Rice was great. Rice was great. But it's the only one since we got Champions League football that's excited me.
You've never capitalized on that, have you? And you know what? This is the thing I always tell people, like I think football is about like momentum and like it's up here as well. It's not just on the pitch, right? So like when you signed Rice that summer, I can tell you now as a City fan, I'm sure Errol was probably the same. I was like, shit, these guys are serious. Yeah. And then this summer, when you signed Calafiori, Marino, and Sterling on loan, I wasn't saying shit. Yeah, I was like, nah. You've got to make you've got to strike fear into your opposition before the season even starts with your transfer business.
Do you know that Sterling deal, right? We were against Forest the other night, and his summer signing, Sterling, is the third sub. Do you know who the first two subs before him were? Our two left backs, Tierney and Zinchenko. That tells me everything I need to know about how crap the summer window was and how bad the January was that was. That
wasn't the summer window that said Arsenal are serious about winning the league. You come that close, right? You need to go out and make a statement. Right, we're going again. That weren't the window of a team that was serious about winning the league.
It was one for solidifying top four, wasn't it, Charlie?
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. They didn't show intention to win the league. Like a serious club that wants to win the league goes out the summer after coming so close and keep pushing.
Arsenal manager.
Calafiori and Marino, they have not been good signings. I don't care what any Arsenal fan tells me. They have not been good signings. Marino has not been a good signing. Calafiori, he looks the most rash. I feel like I was saying, calm down, lad. He is so mad. It's unbelievable. He doesn't feel me.
Isn't he like 22? Isn't he like 22?
21, yeah, but still, he's 40 million, though. He's supposed to be this next best.
Miles Skelly looks clear, man. I can't even lie.
Doesn't he look so much better, man? So we've bought 15 left backs, and the best one was the one that was in the academy. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is happening here, man? It's mad. And the thing is, right, Curtis was on my show the other day, and he was bang on when he said this, right? Everybody told me, including people on this panel, if you win that Carabao Cup, it will give you momentum towards May. Win that Carabao Cup first, and you'll go and win that thing in May. Liverpool are going to win the league before the bloody Carabao Cup even kicks off. This is the thing that's crazy. They're not even going to have to bloody, oh, yes, we've won that. Now let's go and win it in May. They're going to get to that bloody Carabao Cup and have already bloody won it before they get momentum for the league. Like, let's be real about it. It's scary how bad it's gone for us this year. And people will say you're second in the Champions League. Just keep that stum and get on with it. Shut up. Stop being negative. But does anyone think we're winning anything this year? Well, I don't.
Also, can I just say, finishing second or first in the Champions League means fuck all unless you actually win it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we all just agree on that?
We got first and we ended up drawing PSG.
Exactly. We've got Bruges.
If you finish 24th and go through the playoffs and win it, no one's going to go,
exactly. No one cares.
Yeah. No one's going to say that.
Makes no difference.
But the thing is, for you, but I think that, again, I think I messaged, or we spoke briefly before on a message and said the pressure on Arteta, because if you go and buy the players now that are going to be the next, the names that do kind of strike that fear, Arteta has got to get a tune out of them straight away. There can't be no bedding in period. They've got to kick you on and take you to the next level by October. By October, you need to be saying, that could be one of the signings of the season. They need to be in those type of conversations, and the other players around them need to then carry their weight as well. The older guards in the team, whether there's somebody else in midfield alongside them, or you've got obviously Martinelli, those type of players in the team that, haven't particularly had prolific seasons. It's a big pressure for Arteta next season to get it right, because ultimately, you've seen many a times, you can either, there's two ways to skin a cat. You can get more out of the players you've got, or you can go and buy the players that you're going to need to get you over the line. And he's had ample opportunity to have done both.
Yeah.
Next season, I can see the Arsenal fan base just having a massive implosion.
I'll just say this, Rich, I apologize to you having listened to Dan Potts this evening. The truth of the matter is, out of all the names Dan mentioned, if anything, Arsenal will bring in one, because that's what they do. And then they'll bring in all of these unknowns. The truth is, the Arsenal board, I think the Arsenal fans want to win. I think they see themselves bigger than what they are. But the truth is, Arsenal is not a serious club. They don't do what is needed to be done. They're not going to go and buy the 4 or 5 quality players needed. They'll buy one of them. They might bring in Isak, maybe. They might just spend 150 mil bringing Isak, but they're not going to bring anyone else. They'll have Raheem Sterling there, and they'll have Martinelli feeding Isak. I mean, so what a waste of money, what a waste of time, what a disaster. I just think when people banter me about Spurs, and I understand the banter, and rightly so, I should be lambasted for the disgrace that my club is. But Tottenham, I think Arsenal is the biggest disgrace. Because for a team that is meant to be the runners-up, the team that's meant to be challenging, they don't move like a team that wants to win.
They're not serious.
They're not serious. Like, no Red Tottenham fan can be upset with me for saying they're not serious. 3 years in a row, you've not bought anyone in Jan. I mean, come on. Who does that? What is the reason for that?
No, I can't even deny what you're saying, bro.
And the killer of killers. And let this be a lesson to all you Arsenal fans out there that were shaking your bum violently in the summer, because you will do it again. I was told, when I said to Arsenal, what you need is a striker. Why did you bring in Calamari? I did it on this show. And they said to me, because we want to strengthen our defense. And I said, you want to strengthen a defense that was the best defense in the Prem last season? What, you want to make it stronger? Bloody hell, you didn't score enough goals. And now, today, that's what they're moaning about. They're moaning about the fact that why did we bring in this defense? That's why
I agree, bro.
I'm not a serious club.
But there is quite good news actually, as far as Arsenal are concerned.
You bought some new merch out the other day, didn't you?
Yeah, because this is
China. What's all sudden is what is this, man?
What is that?
Potts, get some of that in behind you in your setup, mate.
I'm good, mate. No, it's only
Pots
cheap
with
as
the
well.
pots.
Oh
It's
my
cheap
God.
pots.
You know the weird thing about it all. The weird thing about it all is that Arsenal fans will fucking buy this shit as well. They'll go.
Yeah, it's sold out, Pete.
Yeah.
The 14-carat gold China vase now is now sold out. It's only £550.
Sold out. 550.
Sold out. Yeah, it's only £550.
It's an absolute joke.
That's what it is, man.
Piers Morgan going
This is
to
a
go
bunch of
and buy
scribbles,
stuff,
man.
that type of stuff.
That's what we are. That's as Ange Postecoglou would say, mate. That's who we are, mate. Merch FC.
I don't know if you've seen it, Potts, but you talk about the strikers links and all the rest of it. Like the most solid link I've seen in the last couple of days is that you're talking to the representatives of Jonathan David.
That's an Arsenal signing. That is. That's a proper Arsenal
Free
signing.
transfer.
He's a talented boy,
Yeah, he's a good player, but it doesn't scare anyone.
He's not going to win you a league, is he?
Would he be that type of player? Because for all the talk of Watkins and Isak and all the rest of it, I see a Sesko and a Jonathan David.
Yeah, that will be our summer, Pete. I've told people last summer it's going to be, if you believe Jonathan David, that would make sense because he's a free. Sesko will be the other one, so we'll get them two up front. We'll have Nico Williams on the release clause, Zuba Mendy, and the goalkeeper Juan Garcia. That will be it. And that's not good enough to go and win the league. So, again, we'll just have to accept that Mikel Arteta is super duper Mick. And then we'll have another season where we're told that we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and we'll finish trophyless again. And everyone will say, oh, well, we had injuries. The referee hates us, and Michael Oliver's a wanker. And then we'll have to go again into another summer where we get another war chest. We go again. It's rinse, repeat, man. I've seen this movie so many times, bro. So many times. And I'm sick of it now. And the fans that I speak to are, oh, this is so much different now. No, it's not. The owners have been here for 19 years, 18 years. And in that time, we've not won a Premier League or a League Cup or a Champions League or a Europa League. We've just got a handful of FA Cups. It's mad, bro. It's absolutely mad. But there we go. Listen, big up to every single one of you, man. Oh, Charlie, you must, by the way, that Conference League. You must.
No, don't worry. Yeah, no, it's good. That's locked up. Don't worry about that. We're going to Copenhagen on Thursday.
The only problem is they're going to start boasting about how no one else has been able to do it now. Like that, you've won every trophy in Europe. You know,
exactly. Rich didn't win it. Deji went out in the group stages, so
You
Yeah,
and Lawless.
although
You
Deji
and
will tell you
Lawless.
that they removed themselves
Oh,
from
they
it.
We
removed
removed ourselves
yeah.
from that competition. Though. So we got some shame.
That's the funniest thing ever. I remember Lawless and Tobes going at it years ago on this channel about that. We removed ourselves from it, and Lawless is just laughing. Oh dear, those days were funny. I'll tell you that. Anyway, listen, people, do me a favor. You're going to head over to Don Hassam's channel now. Go raid him. Go say 12th man sent you Dan Potts raid. Make sure you're following Errol and make sure you're following Redmen TV 2 as well.
Yeah.
The Red
Make sure you
Cartel.
tell Don Hussam he's a fraud as well for saying slot out before a ball had even been kicked at the start of the season. Let him know that I said he's a fraud, yeah?
No.
Don't let him off the
I
hook.
will. I will. Do you know what? I was on Gunn's channel the other night. Lee Gunner played it as well. While he was in the chat, it was quite funny. It was him going, slot out, before a ball was even kicked. That was unbelievable. So there we go. Make sure you're following Errol on Red Cartel, Red Men TV 2. Make sure you're following Charlie on Blue Brother. And make sure you're following Rich. Rich, shout out what you got coming up, bro. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, man, no problem. Villa Park Podcast. Follow us. Get subscribing on YouTube. We got match reaction. Hopefully, Villa winning. Actually, not hopefully, Deji. Definitely after Villa win against Club Bruges tomorrow.
Come on,
And, get involved in the channel.
Come on, man. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're following LB on It's LB. Make sure if you're following Pete on Loaded Mag NUFC. I was watching that yesterday. It was a bit of an angry one, Pete, from you boys. Not happy yesterday. I don't know why you would be, to be fair, but make sure you go.
Honestly, like I'm fucking fuming still.
I can tell you weren't happy, man.
I was reserved tonight. I went every player.
I knew Pete was
Every player
angry
in the squad.
when someone said sign Isak and he just didn't respond. He just sat there and thought,
You know what, LB? I'm not angry at that. I'm bored. I'm bored of it. Like it's been happening for so long now. I just want to hear it. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I got sent that quote thing, and I didn't even read to see if it was true. I was hoping Pete would buy it, but he just kind of rolled his eyes and said it's fake. I was like, oh shit! I was hoping he'd get a buy from that. It wasn't even real. I didn't even check that it was. Anyway. No, big up to you, bro. Cheers for coming on as always, mate. Make sure you follow Pete at Loaded Mag and UFC. Make sure you follow my boy Deji Spurs. What you got coming up, bro?
Yeah, I'll be probably streaming later in the week. I haven't streamed for a while because I actually had COVID, so I'm only just getting back onto my feet properly now. But
I knew it was COVID, man. You weren't well for ages, bro, were you?
Yeah, man. It just completely knocked me out, man. I think I haven't streamed properly for about 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm just trying to get myself back on the feet this week. So I don't know, but look out for it.
Love, man. Love.
Yeah,
big up to all of you guys. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Go and spam Hussam's chat with slot out.
Tell him I sent you. Tell him.
Errol says slot out.
Yeah. Errol says slot out, yeah.
Big up.
Love in a bit.